Texas is one of my favorite wildlife playgrounds. My first experiences were during a summer visit to San Antonio when I was still in grade school. Later, I traveled widely as a graduate student at the University of Texas at Austin and during extensive field work throughout my academic career at the University of Missouri. Nowadays, it's still a frequent destination. The high species diversity of wildlife in Texas stems from its size and location. Eastern habitats meet western ones, and northern temperate habitats meet southern subtropical ones. This video will focus on vertebrate groups in the Piney Woods, Gulf Prairies, Edwards Plateau, South Texas Plains, and Trans-Pecos ecoregions. It's important to know that each ecoregion contains a range of habitats. For example, the Piney Woods ecoregion has extensive pine lands in which red-cockaded woodpeckers and the next three species are common. It also contains mixed hardwood forests with sloughs and other slow-moving bodies of water, which are favored nesting areas for Swainson's and prothonotary warblers. This kind of habitat is common in the Big Thicket, a small area between Houston and the Louisiana border with high plant species diversity. The next section shows a representative sample of birds, amphibians, and reptiles occurring in eastern Texas. Most mammals, such as the coyote, are wide-ranging and enter Texas from all four cardinal directions. About 142 species of mammals are found in Texas. That's about a third of those in the United States. 660 species of birds have been recorded in Texas. Seasonal migration contributes to the total, mostly through the Central Flyway, which includes most of Texas, with additions from the Mississippi Flyway in the east and the Pacific Flyway in the west. Vagrants native to Mexico and countries to the south add more to the total. There are 64 native species of amphibians and 137 native species of reptiles in Texas. Texas has 28 species of native salamanders belonging to 6 different families. 13 of these are endemic to Texas and will be shown later. Most kinds of terrestrial mole and lungless salamanders are confined to eastern Texas. Their centers of distribution are in the Midwestern and eastern states. Central newts metamorphose through 3 distinct developmental stages: aquatic larvae, terrestrial juveniles, Fs, and adults that are terrestrial but return to water to breed. Sirens and amphiumas are permanently aquatic. Texas has 36 species of native frogs belonging to 10 different families. There are 10 kinds of toads in Texas. Here are 3 of the 5 kinds found in eastern Texas. Eight of the 10 Texas species in the tree frog family occur in eastern Texas. The 2 cryptic species of gray tree frog can be distinguished by differences in calls and chromosome number. Many populations in eastern Texas and elsewhere harbor both species. Two kinds of narrowmouth frogs are widely distributed in eastern and east-central Texas. The third species is restricted to southern Texas. All 8 species of true frogs, ranids, occur in eastern Texas. pig and bullfrogs defend territories where females may choose to lay eggs based on their assessment of the quality of the territory, the male, or both. A bullfrog's call is recognized and remembered by its territorial neighbors, and the level of aggressive behavior among established neighbors usually wanes over time. If a new male enters the area and calls, it will probably be attacked by one or more established neighbors. Texas has 22 species of native turtles in 5 families, 42 lizards in 8 families, and 72 snakes in 5 families. The eastern hognose snake is widely distributed in eastern Texas as well as most of the eastern and midwestern U.S. Their defensive behavior is elaborate and fun to observe. First, they confront a potential enemy by hissing, spreading their neck to form a hood like a cobra, and striking, albeit with a closed mouth. If this doesn't work, they play dead, writhing and turning onto their backs and letting their tongue hang out. This trick can be confounded by turning them back onto their belly and seeing that they immediately turn back on their backs. Finally, they cautiously turn over and crawl away as fast as they can. The 5 kinds of venomous snakes shown occur in eastern Texas. Timber rattlesnakes are confined to this region, but the cottonmouth and coral snake have extensive ranges to the south and west, and the eastern copperhead hybridizes with its broad-banded and transpecos relatives, mainly in the Edwards Plateau. The western pygmy rattlesnake occurs in scattered localities in other parts of Texas and is generally considered uncommon to rare. Numerous kinds of wildlife are found only in Texas, and many more species that are native to Mexico and Central America reach their northern limit in Texas. Central Texas has numerous endemic salamanders, 2 snakes, and a nesting bird. Central Texas is home to a complex of more than 15 endemic salamanders, here represented by the Texas blind cave salamander. This species and several others are neotenic. They retain their larval traits, live in the Edwards Aquifer, and are identifiable by both appearance and molecular differences. Other neotenic species can only be distinguished by molecular differences, and species that metamorphose can be distinguished by morphology alone. The Houston toad was one of the first species listed by the Endangered Species Act. It is considered to be at especially high risk because of habitat loss and drought. Three kinds of turtles that live in rivers flowing from central Texas to the Gulf are endemic to Texas. The Texas cooter is common in 4 river drainages, and Kegels and Texas map turtles are in the Guadalupe and Colorado River drainages, respectively. Kegel's map turtle is threatened in Texas. Brazos and concho water snakes are listed as threatened, even though they are relatively common in some locations within their small north-central distributions. The golden cheek warbler, which only breeds in a few central Texas counties, can still be seen elsewhere during migration. Barking frogs inhabit the Edwards Plateau and Big Bend and small scattered localities in New Mexico and Arizona. Their main center of distribution is in Mexico. The cliff chirping frog is another near-endemic frog with only a few populations in adjacent Mexico. Another species occurs in the lower Rio Grande Valley and will be shown in Part 2. Texas alligator lizards occur in central Texas in the Edwards Plateau and further west in the Trans-Pecos and Big Bend. The main bulk of their distribution is in Mexico. The Gulf Prairies EcoRegion occupies a large area in south and southeast Texas and includes the very eastern part of the Rio Grande Valley. The Bolivar Peninsula is a haven for many winter, migrant, and permanent resident shorebirds, gulls, and waders. These also occur along the entire eastern Gulf Coast and in the Rio Grande Valley.
Salt marshes of the Bolivar Peninsula and Gulf Coast harbor more than shorebirds. Seaside sparrows are common, as well as small mammals, diamondback terrapins, and Gulf salt marsh water snakes. Here's my first video of the last species.
High Island is a famous location for birding because of the high diversity of spring migrants and breeding plumage. If there's a weather delay, the fallout of migrants is astounding, and many normally shy birds are so exhausted that they are easily approached while they refill for their further northern migration. Here is where I saw my first cerulean and bay-breasted warblers.
Anahuac National Wildlife Refuge hosts alligators, numerous wide-ranging mammals, wading birds, wood storks, frogs and toads, and other kinds of reptiles.
Heading south along the Gulf Coast in winter, it's always worth a stop to see whooping cranes at Aransas National Wildlife Refuge and Goose Island State Park. I have found keeled earless lizards reliably in dunes on Padre Island near Port Aransas. This species is representative of animals that reach their northern limit of distribution in the Texas South Plains ecoregion, which includes the fabulous Rio Grande Valley, which will be covered in Part 2, and is a spectacular location to see wildlife that occurs in Mexico, Central America, and even some from South America. Part 2 will highlight wildlife in the Rio Grande Valley and other parts of the South Texas Plains ecoregion, western Edwards Plateau, and the Trans-Pecos region. In the Rio Grande Valley itself, there are numerous places to see wildlife: local parks, state parks, and national wildlife refuges. Up-to-date information is readily available on the web. This video focuses on wildlife in the areas we most frequently visit, and most of the Rio Grande specialties are found in more than one of these areas. Two stops we always make in the Rio Grande Valley are Sable Palm Sanctuary and the Gladys Porter Zoo. Laguna Atascosa Wildlife Refuge has had a successful breeding program for ocelots and aplomado falcons, and both species can occasionally be observed near and inside the refuge. Both were historically present in Sable Palm Sanctuary. Sable Palms is a wonderful refuge with many of the Rio Grande bird specialties and one reptile that is difficult to see elsewhere in the valley. During our last visit, my friend Richard Daniels spotted a speckled racer, which had eluded us during previous trips and is very uncommon elsewhere in the valley.
The Gladys Porter Zoo is in the northwest part of Brownsville. Not only do its grounds host some of the local Rio Grande specialties, but it is one of the few zoos that features Mexican and Central American reptiles, many collected by its herpetology curator, Clint Guadiana. We almost always visit this zoo to see what new species are on exhibit.
Moving west from Brownsville, Estero Grande Llano State Park is located near Weslaco and north of the Rio Grande. Relatively drier habitat surrounds lots of open water, which, with the aid of an elevated walkway, allows clear views of aquatic and semi-aquatic wildlife.
We also explore Tamaulipan thorn scrub habitats just to the north of the valley, where we often check back roads at night to locate frogs and reptiles.
Southwest of Estero Grande is Santa Ana National Wildlife Refuge, a long-established location that I visited during my first trips to the Rio Grande Valley. The forest is relatively humid, and the refuge borders the Rio Grande River. A reptile highlight is the Texas indigo snake, which is easiest to see in the cooler months.